Hello, William. This is your 220S booster. I finally got it finished for you. I apologize for the long delay. It's not my normal timeline, but life gets in the way of what I try to accomplish sometimes. So let's go over things that came out of your booster. This is your original vacuum can, and you can see the pits down inside here. Ordinarily, you just have a few pits on the bottom here, but this thing is pitted all the way around, and I just didn't think it was worth trying to salvage it. So fortunately, I had a new can in stock, so you got a brand new can. Some of the parts that came out of it, little poppet valve that behind the air filter. This is your vacuum diaphragm, and you can see it. The thing has had some. But did this booster go down with the Titanic? Because this is the most rust I've seen in a long time. And in addition to the rust, the lips on the lip here is supposed to protrude more than this, so the lip is collapsed. Anyway, here are some of the rubber pieces that were salvageable to give you an idea what they look like when they came out. The rest of the stuff had turned to gum. This is the shaft, the chrome-plated shaft that transitions from vacuum to hydraulic, and you got a rust pit right there, and that was not going to fly, because as it transition from one to the other, it's going to allow a leak of some kind. Let's see, before we start, we'll check the, we'll go over the attributes here. I've got stainless steel bleed screws in here. Two reasons. First of all, stainless steel is really cool. Secondly, Mercedes, in their infinite wisdom, decided to stop supplying bleed screws for wheel cylinders and boosters, which I think is insane. New remanufactured air filter assembly with new Teflon seals inside there, new poppet in there, which is where the other small one, that stop sign shaped one, goes inside here. All your hydraulics are new. Rebuilt your vacuum check valve. All the plating is per original cadmium. And what else? Oh, brake light switch. I'm glad to see someone hadn't screwed it all the way in flush. This is a tapered pipe fitting. It's a 10x1 metric fitting, metric thread pitch, but it's tapered, so that you just screw this in until you don't have any brake fluid leaking out. You don't screw it in all the way. It's a tapered fitting. Now then, let's see. This is a test port right here for the booster, for my testing, and also for use on, if you want to test it while it's on the car. You just take this test plug out and you install a install your vacuum hose, and you'll be able to see the booster doing something according to what the vacuum hose does, or vacuum gauge shows you. All right, in terms of testing, both gauges are registering vacuum as produced by the vacuum pump on my machine. Both are going to go up and register what the vacuum pump can produce, and then as the booster is activated, this gauge is going to go to 0 when the booster is fully activated. On this side, we've got the hydraulic. This is the input. Both gauges are tied together. This gauge goes up, maxes out. This gauge goes up, and the final input pressure is supplied by my machine, which is going to be 350. And then the output, these gauges are tied together. This gauge goes up, maxes out, and then this gauge reads final output pressure. This is a beast of a booster. It's over a 3-to-1 boost ratio, so whatever you see here is going to be 3 times on this side. But before that, I'm going to demonstrate that the booster is inert when the vacuum is off, or when there is no vacuum. And so what that means is the same amount of fluid going in comes out. So it's not like you lose brakes if you don't have vacuum. You always have brakes, you just don't have vacuum assisted brakes. At the same time, we're testing your brake light switch, and the brake light switch activated at a little bit above 50, which is great. That means it's still fully functional. There it is, activating, and there it is at 50, so we're good there. Now then, brake fluid in, brake fluid out. So you've got 350, 350, 350. Now what we're going to do when the booster's activated, we're going to check for leaks. There's a seal underneath it's inside here that can leak. Make sure our brake bleed screws are not leaking. We've also got a bleed hole on this side, right down here, which is your first line of defense in terms of if the booster is failing. If that starts to leak, then you need to get your booster dealt with, but it's not an immediate emergency situation. It just, there's two places this can leak, and that is the first of two places. While we're under pressure, check for leaks. Bleed screws are good. Weep hole is good. Nothing coming out around the seal right here. This one looks like all at one time. Maybe you can hear the characteristic chuff. Very mild. Anyway, got a very good booster for you. When you're attaching your fittings here, you notice you've got flats on either side. So put a wrench, crescent wrench, or something, and hold here as you snug down your fittings right here, because you're going to tighten these down really tight to keep them from leaking, because this is where all your high pressure is coming out. But this jam nut is not designed to keep this thing from rotating against this kind of torque right here. So use the flats to hold this slave cylinder in position. If you can tell it's holding vacuum, the check valve is good. The new diaphragm makes a big difference. So I think we got you a good booster. Thanks for your patience.